A big Tait Fletcher.
Powerful Tait Fletcher.
Is a real alpha male.
Weightlifter.
He's a stuntman.
Movie star.
Robust, enthusiastic individual.
He's huge, by the way. He's like a monster person.
One of the sweetest guys I know.
He's bigger than life.
Actor.
Entrepreneur.
A fighter.
The jiu-jitsu technician.
He's also bald and he has all these tattoos. He's just a big fucking man.
A man, a myth, a legend.
Tait Fletcher.
Tait Fletcher.
Tait Fletcher.
What's up, Tait Fletcher, you fat motherfucker?
Tait Fletcher. Tait Fletcher is
Tait Fletcher.
Teddy bear motherfucking Fletcher, ladies and gentlemen.
That's Tait Fletcher, everybody.
The great Tait Fletcher. Tait the animal Fletcher. Tait the savage Fletcher. Always moving. There's no stillness with Tait Fletcher. You will find no dust.
Tait Fletcher's in the house, ladies and gentlemen. He just said the word erection.
Tait Fletcher.
Tait Fletcher's in the fucking house.
Tait Fletcher!
Tait really blasts out some serious hardcore truth bombs, and I think you're really going to enjoy it.
What's up, everybody? All right, savages, this is Tait Fletcher. Back after a long hiatus. And, man, I'm on the highway. So the sound, if it's fucked up, I apologize. I'm on the road. We're doing 80, podcasting, and I just want to catch up. It's been so goddamn long, and so much has happened. I was in the Dominican Republic for a while, filming a Kevin James movie, and then I had to go back to New York, and then I had to go get my mom in Albuquerque. Then we went and did some hyaluronics and stem cell treatments. We went and saw this beautiful play, Hamilton. That was just fantastic. If you have the opportunity, it's a must-see endeavor. Great UFC fights. I think it was just last weekend, but the weekends are really smashing together. This last weekend, I'm just coming back from LA. I'm heading back into Albuquerque. I've got a job on a TV pilot coming up this week, and last weekend we were at the Natural Foods West Coast Expo, which was a huge convention of all the natural food vendors and supplements, et cetera, that are either brand new or widely established and that just wanted to reconnect with distributors and show new products. And so it was like, I don't know if it was 400,000 square feet of convention center floors that were filled up with vending booths. But we went and presented Caveman Coffee to Kroger and Whole Foods and all these different shops and restaurants, et cetera, and of course they loved us. So as always, this podcast brought to you by the fighter and fuel of Caveman Coffee. And right now I'm enjoying a Gerolsteiner mineral water and cold brew concentrate. I just passed Kingman, Arizona, had a delicious In-N-Out burger, and saw some of the it's crazy travelers. You see some crazy ass travelers, especially in Arizona. Anyway. So I'm looking to maybe stop in Flagstaff tonight. It depends how I feel by the time I get there. I'm a couple hours out right now. I wanted to go over, I made some posts and it bummed out some people at my gym at Undisputed Fitness that were vegan. And my post is about the UFC fight, and I think it was 196. I think that was the number. So at any rate, Holly Holm had her title on the line and fought Misha Tait. If this is a spoiler for anybody, you are so late. Please go back to sleep. However, so Holly lost that fight by a rear naked choke. And Nate Diaz fought Conor McGregor at 170 pounds. Both of them were beneath 170, I think 169 and 168. And beat him with the rear naked choke. Beat McGregor. And then the onslaught of idiots on the internet. And if you're one of them, take this opportunity to get better. But it's like, for me, I'm reading stuff And I saw every jiu-jitsu coach in the world is going, yeah, jiu-jitsu, and it's cool, man. Jiu-jitsu is powerful. It's my sport of choice. I love jiu-jitsu more than almost everything, and it's given me my whole life. But jiu-jitsu is different than fighting. It's not the same thing. And to conflate those two and have so many guys are out there, yeah, that's what I'd have done, jiu-jitsu. And there's a lot of those guys saying that haven't been slapped in the face even. So it's hard to say what they would do under that pressure. And also, it really takes away the excellence of both Nate Diaz and Misha Tait. Because it's the people that finish those moves. And yeah, jiu-jitsu's formed them and been a part of their life and everything, but there's a ton of folks that do jiu-jitsu that would never pull that off and could never. And folks that have done jiu-jitsu and are good and have tried to pull that off and couldn't. So it's almost like, in a way, it's let the athletes honor their art and notice that. But to use it to beat up other people for what they're not, like a lot of people were using it to say, yeah, you see boxing, jiu-jitsu's better than you. Or do you see, whatever movement coach, like jiu-jitsu beats movement coaches or whatever. And it's, I don't know, anything that's used to degrade somebody else, it just seems like it's a fucking bummer. And usually it's said and spoken by people that haven't done a whole lot. So the thing I said about vegans, I never even knew that Nate Diaz was a vegan before. But all the vegans came out, they sure knew it, and they started talking about it a lot. As if his diet was the reason that he won. And you see, and like somebody that was a frenemy of mine was like, see, a vegan diet is the way to go, not a paleo diet. And like all that kind of stuff to use an athlete to prove your point when one thing happens in a cipher, it just seems a little bit ridiculous and reaching to me. And so stop being silly, you little fools, really. Anyway, there were beautiful fights, and I watched when Holly went in and she got taken down. Misha was relentless really in the first couple. She was taking shots a lot and really gauging her distance well, staying away from Holly's power, and then she'd swoop in for a double leg or a tight waist. And I thought she fought an excellent bout. I also think that her holding the title is interesting. I don't think she can. I rarely predict or say things, but it doesn't look good. She doesn't measure up very well against Ronda. It would be tough for her to beat Ronda, I think, which is interesting because I think that it'd also be super tough for Ronda to beat Holly. And it's just this circle about matches make fights, matchups make fights. I know how hard Holly works, and she'll be 1,000% better also and have greater defenses throughout her next fight. She'll fix a lot of those holes in her game. And I think she's got the best advantage in that way. It's hard to learn grappling, to learn to finish, but it's way simpler a task to learn how to defend it and learn how to get back up safely so that you can exact what your art is. And I think that's the smart play for Holly. I think Misha probably fights Ronda next. And if that's true, she loses to Ronda, I would think. And then Holly will fight somebody and then fight Ronda and take the belt and who knows what. But I think that's probably how the next few months will end up. As far as Nate Diaz and McGregor, McGregor still is a belt holder and a champion, and that's a beautiful thing. It's wonderful that he went up and he put it on the line. I don't know if he really believed his hype or if he was just like, he's just that way. I'd like to believe he's just that way, that he's just like any challenge and let's give it a try. I remember looking back at a video a little while ago that I saw of him sparring the Mountain from Game of Thrones and moving around the gym with him and really frustrating the big man and probably wearing him out. And I think given time, Conor would have beat that ass and finished him, I'm sure. However, an excellent high-level athlete like Nate Diaz that is accustomed to fighting at 155. Because that's the thing. Everybody also mentioned in the fight afterwards, they position they construct the argument like that he's gone up to 170 to fight, and that's not really exactly what happened. They both rested at 168 and 169 respectively. They're similar in body mass. Nate fights at 155. The idea of Conor going up to 155, for sure he could beat some guys. However, for sure he's not going to jump up and beat the champion at that belt. It's too big. It's too tough a fight. And I mean, he got hit one time, and you really, I hate to say that you see fighters break, but he broke him. He slapped him, and then when he hit him again with that right hand in the temple, he crushed Conor's spirit and he broke him. And it was an interesting fight to see, because we're almost watching the first round. Nate was bloodied and being frustrated, and Conor was scoring a lot, and I was like, wow, are we going to see Nate get broken? I mean, it was an exciting fight in both those regards. But Conor broke, shot for a sloppy double and got sprawled on, and then took some heavy hands. Man, you see some guys that have ground and pound and they're working. Nate, every time he touched Conor, it was a earth-shattering blow. It was rocking him, and I've just got so much admiration for both the Diaz brothers as fighters and athletes, and their gameness and his power and here's the other thing I want to say about Nate and Conor and that fight, and what stuck out to me. I sure wish there was more shit talking. I wish they had more time to have more press conferences and more open workouts and all that kind of stuff. But it being what it was, what struck me by it was what Nate said. And I know a lot of people wish that Nate were more verbose and as eloquent as Conor, perhaps, to be able to battle back and forth like that. But the power of what Nate said, it just struck such a chord with me. And that is, who do you train with, bro? Where's your guys? Who do you box with? Now, Conor moves excellently, and his timing is superb, and he's very fast. But that thing about who are you when you're deep in the hole, that's a whole nother question. And it's an interesting question, because everybody looks at MMA or boxing as a solitary sport. You're one man, you go in the ring or the cage and then walk out one man. But it's such a team sport. Like, recollecting how I felt about it in the fellowship, and when I talked to friends of mine, you're really there together. And for Nate to be there with his brother and with Gil and with all his boys, man, it's tremendous, man. That's a team, that's a pack, and you get power from your team. You get power because you're there for them. It's not an arrogant, self-interested endeavor. If Nate lost, he wouldn't have felt bad that he lost. For him, he would have felt like he let his brother and his team and Cesar Gracie and jiu-jitsu and everything, he would have felt like he let him down. And that's the beautiful part about having a team on your back that is that you're carrying and that you're walking into battle with. There's an extra amount of pride if you're a humble man that you can go into the cage with when you have that kind of a feeling. And I think that sense of, and it's a sense of community. It's like to be emboldened by your community. It's like, I think that's the aspect that we all need to have. And the more that we can get into that community and that sense of solitary loneliness just goes away. It's eradicated, and we're not alone, and we can lose that illusion. And that was the most striking part of all the things leading up to the fight for me with those boys. And it was a fantastic night, man. My friend and teammate, she lost, and it was still a fantastic night. I could see her learning, and I could see her trying, and I know that she doesn't feel bad about an ounce of it, I'm sure. Haven't spoken to her, but she wants a challenge, and she wants to go out, and she's not egocentric in the way that I need to hold on to the belt and die a champion. She wants to die trying. It doesn't matter what it looks like. She wants to be out there in the effort of striving towards a goal and striving into not only a goal but into new waters, learning new things. And so it brings me into the next thing I want to talk about. I'm writing a book, and on the efforts that I've had and like whatever success that I've exacted in my life and been helped to manifest, I want to be able to present that to people and to kind of illustrate what that is and what the thinking has been, and with broken thinking, and also how my thinking has been amended throughout the years as a young man to an adult, and as I am today, it's altered a lot, and what it's taken to exact that kind of change. So anyway, I don't know if I can go into it all that much, but it's really a communal effort, and I'm really happy to have all the feedback that I have from the podcast and you all, because you're what makes it all happen for me too. It's like you all are the reason, in a way, like you're with me and you're part of my team and my community, and I appreciate it to no end. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. It's one of the best endeavors that I've ever been able to be a part of is this community of this pirate life. And with Caveman Coffee and with Undisputed and with my Concrete Cowboy family and just with everything that's going on, all the Death Squad supporters, God bless you, man. And I really appreciate it, and I look forward to new things and new days. And so this book thing has been, for me, it's been the next scary thing, in a way of like, well, here you are, and you're going to go in and bury yourself, which is kind of what this podcast is like. It's like there's a risk involved with burying yourself. That's why I always admired comedians so much, and poets, like spoken word poets. They're up there sharing their art and themselves and their souls and their art with strangers, and they're subjecting themselves to perhaps being ridiculed and heckled. And it's a crazy thing, man. It's a crazy thing to throw yourself into, and I admire it to the utmost. So at any rate, this is the next endeavor that I'm doing in that end, and it'll be a writing effort, and it'll be of me, and it'll be of my mind and my thoughts and what I've learned, and my teacher's thoughts and my mentor's thoughts, and how those have helped me to formulate the me that I am today. And I think that that's one of the biggest things. One of the things I've been talking about with friends a lot is just asking myself questions. There's a guy that works with us at Caveman, and he was asking me, how do I make, do you know anybody that is hiring side jobs where I could make some extra money? And I said, well, I don't know. Like, I'll think about it, and I'll keep my feelers out. I said, but I don't know if that's the right question. Perhaps the right question. Sorry, I'm having little sips of my cold brew in between this. But I said, perhaps the right question is, what am I doing with my time? I said, so what do you do with your time when you're not at work? I said, I watch TV or kick it with my friends. And I go, okay, cool. I go, what my path was, and I just go back to what my experience is with it. What my path was something more like I fell in love with jiu-jitsu. I fell in love with movement. I fell in love with physicality, with being empowered to form my own body into the purpose and usefulness that I wanted it to be. And that was, I wanted to be the best jiu-jitsu fighter that I could be for my school. And then I wanted to be the best stick fighter that I could be for my teacher, for Arlen Sanford. And then I wanted, it was just that kind of a progression of conversations. And I said, one of the first things that I did, I wanted to be a good student for this one teacher that I had. And so I looked him in the eye and I came prepared. And so I learned that preparation was an important thing. Then I learned that punctuality was an important thing. Then I learned that looking people in the eye was an important thing. And that shaking somebody's hand and saying hello and being cheerful. People would rather hire somebody that's more cheerful. They'd rather be around somebody or date somebody that's cheerful in their disposition, that's not a sad facer. And so that seemed to be an important thing. And then I learned that the more I could make my body useful, the more abilities that I would have in the workplace, and the more useful I could be to my community. And then that was useful. And then I got into martial arts, and then a whole nother realm of usefulness in the security realm opened up for me. And I was just telling this kid, and I said, my point is that it's not how can I make more money. That's never the right question. The right question is how can I be more useful to my community around me? And when I become more useful and I look at honing myself to become most useful to my community around me, that's when I get the biggest result. Monetarily, in my heart, my spirit is emboldened. I'm more eager to participate. I have a bigger community. Like, so I said, maybe that's the thing to look at, you know, maybe it's not so self-interested, but it's maybe more like what a friend of mine calls it, enlightened, what does he call it? Self-interested, enlightened altruism, right? Like, so I'm altruistic for the sake of being altruistic? Maybe not. Maybe it's for the sake of me having a better life. But me having a better life befits my community better, and it all is a big circle of health. So that was kind of the gist of it. The next question that I've been asking myself is, am I a good man? Which is a huge question, and I'm going to explore that deeper with different people. But you know, the one thing is that I look at, I'm like, everybody thinks they're a good man. Whether you're Dick Cheney or Hitler or Ronald McDonald, everybody thinks they're a good man. Unless you're just kind of a down in the dumps, depressive Eeyore type, and then you're like, maybe you think you're a nobody. But that's a arrogant kind of way to go through life as well, for other reasons. I mean, the depression is and I was riddled with it, but it's a self-obsession. And the more that I think of others, the more my depression goes away. But that's a whole nother topic. So anyway, I'm talking about this stuff. Am I a good man? Because to not ask myself the question seems to only be defending my ego in a way, if that makes sense. It seems to only be digging my heels in to demand that I am a good man instead of looking at it. So the next part of me and my journey is that's so huge is that I have great people around me. And those aren't people that tell me I'm doing great all the time. They're people that are going, hey, you kind of acted like a dick over there. Or there are people that I can bounce things off of and say, hey man, do you think that I acted okay here? Do you think that I wrote this okay? I'm going to respond to this touchy situation, and here's how I'm going to do it, and I don't want to sound angry or what. But I need those people. I don't need the yes men around. I need people that are going to be helpful and loving, but also stringent with me and honest. And so I think those are the biggest things. And I feel like I could ramble on 1,000 different degrees, and it's really weird to kind of record my voice by myself and talk to myself in the car right now. But I wanted to touch base with y'all, and I'll go more and deeper into these subjects when I talk with subsequent guests, which I think will probably be Ruben Rivera and Nate Harris. I'm about to see my boys tomorrow or the next day. And maybe, I don't know, maybe my dad. I'm supposed to see my dad this weekend, which would be crazy. It'd be awesome to record him. I don't know. So, and anyway, that's what's happening. Be kind to each other. Be hard on yourself, but love yourself, man. That's the last thing I'll end with. Everybody wants to say, oh, you're too hard on yourself. I hope you speak nicely to yourself. Speak nicely to yourself for sure. But also be hard on yourself. Be strict with yourself. Sharpen the blade of your instrument and be hard and rigid with yourself so that you can get better. Don't be hard on yourself in a way that's only going to beat you up in a depressive manner. That's self-interested. It goes nowhere. But be hard on yourself where you're really judging and studying your actions, your intentions, and your emotions so that you can get to be a better, more useful human. Because at the end of the day, that's what we need, and that's what a leader is. So that's it, man. I need you to try, and thank you very much. I want to quickly thank sponsors, CavemanCoffee.com, Concrete Cowboy, Dallas, Houston, and Austin, kicking it out there. Clutch Bar, Dallas. You can find all these on Instagram and Facebook also. Also, NuevaCerveza.com. Nueva Cerveza is a great little beer that Marcos and Melissa put together up in Taos, New Mexico. And BloodyMaria.com. Also, I want to thank my friends down there at the Float Clinic in Torrance. They've got great submersion tanks where you can go and you can do floats and isolation tanks for an hour and a half, and they're really super cheap, super friendly, super clean, state-of-the-art stuff, and it's really fantastic. I want to thank all my loved ones down there, Embo, Lindsay, Logan, Danny, Juan, everybody at Deuce Gym. You can find Deuce Gym online also, and there are great blogs there that my brother Logan writes all the time. Logan, you can find at Functional Coach. At Functional Coach. He's one of the finest coaches in the world, and just a brilliant human being. So read his stuff. Inspirational. He's one of those philosophers that's not like a sit on your couch philosopher, but he's an actual about some shit philosopher and a beautiful man. I always want to thank Jason Ellis, Joe Rogan for all your love. Dr. Drew, onit.com. Check out my YouTube, Tait Fletcher. Check out what else? My Instagram's Tait Fletcher, Tait G Fletcher, Tait Fletcher on my Facebook. Is there a point in having a Tait? Why would you have a fan page? I don't even understand anymore. I guess you couldn't always follow on the regular Facebook. I don't know. Anyway, and thank UndisputedFitness.com. Please check them out. If you're ever in Santa Fe, New Mexico, come grab a workout. OriginalNutritionals.com, best fish oil in the world. Please peep all that. And anyway, I want to shout out all my friends, man, that I saw. I mean, there's just so many that I can't even think of. I'm going to forget them, but Clean Snatch Soap. There's I think it's called Fat Face. This butter and cream that's all grass-fed tallow that is really fantastic product. My girl Mary Shinauda at Paleo Chef. You can find her fantastic product. I just had some just a little while ago called Fat Fudge, and god damn, it's delicious. It's the best stuff, man, and great for a ketogenic diet for ketosis. Also, my boy Mark Sisson. If you don't know about him, find out about the Primal Diet. He does Primal bars and all these delicious things, man, that are all ketogenic friendly. Great staff of people that he has working with him, and man, the community is getting bigger and bigger and stronger and stronger. And I guess the takeaway for me with this expo this last weekend was that all these corporations, whether it's Walmart, Kroger, Whole Foods, whomever, they're out there and they're looking for natural foods and farm to table and grass fed. Like, they're looking for these sustainable brands out there because the public is demanding it. So congratulations, everybody. The tables are turning, man, and we're winning. We're winning the days, man. We're winning the days. Little tiny victories, but we're winning. And as long as you don't sell out and you hold true to it, you keep trying, there's nothing you can do but win. Anyway, God bless. Love you all so much. And thank you for your time. Thank you for your support of the podcast. Please share it with your friends. Share it on Twitter and Instagram and all of that kind of thing. And we'll be back with you shortly. Maybe I'll even record later tonight. I don't know. Anything could happen. It's crazy out here in the world. Peace.